Yo, what's going on? This is the Battle Blaster coming back at you. I really didn't want to talk about this, but I feel that I must. It is about black men and black women and why we aren't on the same page, but somewhere down the line we're starting to come together on certain issues, but we're still fighting against one another with this male and female gender bullshit. I've been listening to a lot of different commentaries, and when I hear women talk, women have their own interest in hand, and when men talk, they have their interest in hand. And don't get me wrong, you got some of the people that I listen to, they are very balanced, or they like to try to be very fair when it comes to both sexes. And the thing about this is, all this stuff just equals up to more separation between us. And this was designed, and if you don't believe it's designed, then I think you need to sit back and take a listen, or listen to someone else, because maybe I'm not going to make sense, or maybe I will, but let's try this out. I've been watching as we get upset with each other, men and women, black men and black women only. That's what I'm speaking of. We get upset over silly things. And I've noticed that what we do is we like to blame each other. Men blame the women for this, and the women blame the men for that. Like, I was listening to one woman saying that how it's men's fault that it's men's fault that they're going through the hardships, and they're all abused and mentally scarred and all this ridiculous bullshit. And then I hear things where you hear men saying, hey, when you get a good man, you don't know how to treat him. You treat us like shit, but you run after the bad boys, and may I say this, a little bit of it both is true in a way. And I want us to go back at least 50 years, 50, 60 years. Back in 1960s and before that, black men and black women, we got along a lot better than what we get along now. People like my grandparents were still together in their old age. They believed in taking care of each other. You know what I mean? Even if they weren't happy, they still stuck together. The man was the breadwinner. The woman, she relied on her husband, and she took care of the kids and whatever. That was it. Then with the invent of the woman's lib movement to destroy us, destroy the black male and black females bond, which worked perfectly, because black women, and I will say this, and I want y'all to hear exactly what I'm saying, because not only black women suffer from this, but black men suffer from it too. It's I want to be like white daddy and white mommy. And black women so desperately want to be like white women. They listen to women like, oh my goodness, where's her name again? I'm about to say Styros. That's not her name. The young lady who started the movement for women's, I ain't gonna say women's rights, but women to get out of the kitchen and all that bullshit, and the women's movement shit. It's so funny, her name's right on the tip of my tongue, and now I can't even say it. This is why I need to write shit down. Gloria Steinem, excuse me, that's her name, Gloria Steinem. When Gloria Steinem stepped up, she got her little black pal to help seduce the black women, and black women start going ape shit, talking about the black men was keeping them down and keeping them back. No, we weren't. But see, that's the trick of white people. White people have always learned who we are. They always got in our heads. They've been in our heads since we got out the ship. They broke us. They taught us to love them and only them, and see them as gods and lords and masters over us. And that's what we do. We sit there and we feel that this is what they are. So as black women watch this shit go down, it broke up the household. Then they brought in these incentives and, you know, shit like that, like welfare, and Section 8 will come later on, and all these things to help black women get apartments so they can leave out. I remember how welfare would come to your house and they would check and see if there was any male clothes in the house, you know, shit like that. So you couldn't have a man in your house if they found like a pair of men's shoes or a pair of men's jeans, that they could actually throw you off of welfare. See, that was the fucking take. That was the bullshit right there. They started, you know, so women couldn't have their husbands in the house. But white women who were on welfare, they didn't have to go through this. I mean, you gave up, and this is what I'm saying about black women. You've given up your protector. You've given up your helpmate. You've given up your father's children. You've given up your lover, you know, your support. You've given it all up for a check in your own place. Now, fast forward this all the way until today. And you can see the dysfunction that has grown. Why is it that the male population nowadays have grown gay? I'm being honest with you. The women have more testosterone than the men do. It's not only due to the absentees of fathers and single mother homes. It also it also falls into category of biological and chemical warfare. They put this shit in the foods, they put it in the water, and it feminizes the little boys and the little girls. It feminizes the boys and defeminizes the girls. See, people don't understand how shit works. These people are evil, and we are their target. Why you think they want to stop us from breeding? They couldn't stop us from breeding. They gave us diseases. They did everything they could to stop us from breeding. Now what they're doing is they're trying to cut our population down by putting chemicals in hormone imbalances in foods, or when kids go and get shots, they become autistic or mentally retarded, or their sexuality becomes skewed. So, you know, this stuff truly is biological chemical warfare on us. Because if you can make men into women mentally, he ain't gonna have the will, or not the will, but he's not gonna have the passion to procreate with another woman. He's gonna be looking to bust some booty holes open or get his booty hole bust open. You know, that's the way shit works with them motherfuckers. That's how these white people have worked us. And with these women nowadays, all they do is say, oh, I still love him, that's my baby, or I still love her, that's my baby. That's not the point. The point is, you need to be a mother. You need to sit down. If you're going to have children, and this is one reason why I don't have children, and I have never gotten married, because there's not a woman out there who's willing to be a woman, especially to me. See, I have to jump through hoops. I gotta chase you. I gotta beat you upside your head. I gotta do all these bad things to make you see that I care for you. See, a lot of that stuff is mentally programmed into our people. I met a girl that all she wanted me to do was put her hand. If I put my hands on her, I'd probably still be with her today. She wanted me to punch her in the face and blacken her eye and bust her lip. She liked that shit. That doesn't turn me on. You know what I mean? It doesn't make me feel like a man that I have to put my hands on you. I had another girl, she wanted me to hem her up and talk bad shit to her and rule over her. And when I was loving and caring, it was like, I'm not man enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm not man enough to be a man to her. And that's crazy. And I mean, I see this all the time. And this is why a lot of the brothers who are the thuggish dudes or the gang members or, the guy who don't give a damn, who just trying to knock you up and keep it moving. This is why these guys are successful at dating these women. And it's funny because I even met women who were supposedly, let me say this again, supposedly high class, and all they wanted was the Jaheim guys, the thuggish dudes, you know what I mean? The big, tall, buff dude with the Timberlands and his pants sagging off his ass. But you are supposed to be so highly educated, you feel that is a man. See, this is what they call programming. We are programmed when we watch television. We are programmed when we listen to the radio. We are programmed when we read the papers. We are programmed. This is why we need to step back away from the televisions. We need to step back from the radios. We need to step back from the newspapers. I mean, newspapers bring nothing but fucking heartache and sadness and just pure fucking hatred and stupidity. Because these people don't have nothing good to talk about. When they do have something good to talk about, it's very, very minute. It's very small. It's quick-witted and done with. Like I said, I keep telling people, this world is on fire. This world is really heated up to the point where, it's on fire now. And the fire is growing every day. We have people who are racist out here. And all they want to do is they want to destroy us. And it's funny because when we as men stand up and we say we're going to do something, black women usually want us to stand down. It was some brothers called the Detroit 300, and the people who stopped that was black women. Because they didn't want them going after their children, their sons. You let your child run free in the street like an animal. Like a fucking, just a thuggish gangster motherfucker, whatever you want to call him. And you allowed it, and you don't want nobody to chastise your child or come after him, put their hands on him, or do something that he needs done to him. But you support that behavior. And you shut those guys down. Y'all don't want us to lead. But for the past, 40, 50 years, y'all have been leading in these communities. And look at our community. Our community look like a fucking war zone. Because we have children who don't have fathers in their lives. And if they do have fathers in their lives, they father just as dumb as they are. Because they were grown up by women who taught them to be fucking sissified and stupefied. And I know stupefied ain't a word, but you know what I mean. These men have more fucking girly fucking emotions than any of them. I watch it, some of these guys, they sit on the corner and they fucking gossip like bitches. I'm walking down the street the other day and a whole bunch of dudes just stand on the corner and they just gossip like bitches. Disrespectful, but just gossiping. I remember one day I'm walking down the street, and I went to get air. Matter of fact, I was walking. Excuse me. I had to drive to the gas station to get air. I'm sorry, and I've seen somebody I knew since he was a child. So he walked up to me, and we were talking, and he told me something about him and his baby mom, and the way he spoke was like a bitch. Excuse me for saying it that way, but yeah, he spoke like he was a feminine woman. A very feminine woman. And all he was doing was shaking his head and rolling his neck and snapping his fingers like a bitch. I was like, damn, nigga, dude, you look like a broad. The words that popped out his mouth sound like he was a woman anyway. And it's funny because that's what these motherfucking women do. They sissify their children, especially boys. The girls, they make them hard. The boys, they make them little bitches. Don't know how to be men. Don't want to be a man. I look at my cousin. He got kids and everything and all that, but he don't know how to be a man. He wants to just stay home and raise his kids and like a woman, and he wants to collect Social Security. I'm like, dude, you had your leg worked on. If your foot ain't feeling so good, then find a job you can sit on. If you could drive a taxi, get your driver's license and start driving taxis, or get your own car and do a Lyft. Make some money on your own. He can't do that because he was taught by a woman. Even though his father was around, his father didn't show him much because his father was too busy running the street. And not only running the street, his father was a military man, so he's never really in the home. He's away 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time, and come home for 2 weeks, and then he don't even do shit with his kids. He was so busy running the street. Silly shit, man. And these kids, man, I mean, he don't even know what it's like to be a man. His wife pays the rent, and all he do is go and he gets the check, and he takes it down there and he puts it in the mailbox. He says, "I went and paid the rent." No, you went and just put your wife's check in the mailbox so she could pay the rent. I mean, sad, man. This is funny, man, but it's not funny, but it's funny. And it's a sad situation for our people because that's the way we look at shit. That's the way we feel. I swear to God, when I'm doing a fucking video, everybody want to text me, and I'm thinking I'm about to get this video through. This is just too much. But this is the shit I'm saying, man. This is fucking reality in a nutshell. As men, we don't know how to be men. And the funny thing is, I'm gonna tell you a little secret about me. When I was growing up, I had my father in my life, and when he got sick, I just turned 12 when he got sick. And I remember growing up, and when I was a teenager, my first, I guess you would call my real girlfriend, my first real girlfriend. I remember one day sitting at the table talking to her on the phone, and my mom's sitting at the table playing her little solitary she liked to play, and the girl says to me, could you pick up some Pampers for the baby tomorrow? Now, mind you, I'm not nobody's father. I'm not this kid's father. His father should be the one getting this kid some fucking Pampers. So she asked me, and I said, well, you need to talk to the baby dad. I said, I'm not that kid's father. I said, you need to talk to his father about that. And I put my foot down on it. And my mom shook her head, and the girl hung up the phone because she started crying and bullshit, all the fucking, the fucking bullshit ass shit. So my mom said, that wasn't right. You know, when a woman gives you her body, she gives you everything. You should help her. How about if that was your sister and somebody did that to her? And then my sister followed right behind with that the same bullshit. See, when women start fucking with a young man's mind, it will fuck him up. I'm trying to be a man because they telling me this is what women want. Let me tell you something, gentlemen, that's not what they want. They want the guy that said, fuck you and your kid, go and tell the baby daddy to get his fucking shit. That's what they want. So I let my mom and my sister program me into being a simp for almost 20